Hey everyone, CJ here. Hope you're all doing well. The first trailer for Transformers Rise of the Beasts is an exciting one and a great way to give us all a sneak peek into what could be another great Transformers movie, especially since this is a sequel to Bumblebee, which I really liked. Here we have a close-up of Optimus Prime's modernized classic design, which always looked great in Bumblebee. We got our first look at Optimus Primal, who looks just as great. If it wasn't obvious from the movie's title, Primal being here pretty much confirms we finally have Beast Wars characters on the big screen. Here we get another look at both Primes at a stalemate, which I just got to appreciate again how great they designed Prime's classic look to closely resemble his design from the original animated series, without it being one-to-one. Just some great stuff coming from the design team for this movie. Much like Prime from the original live-action movies, his mouth plate can retract, a nice little detail they decided to keep in this one. I'm still warming up to B's new design, however, because the metal plate on his head makes it look like a mohawk, and the chest pieces are pretty bulky, but maybe he hadn't fully transformed yet in this shot. Or my eyes are just deceiving me. Here we get a first look at our new Autobot lead in its car form, which is a Porsche, which makes one think back to movie jazz. I'm a sucker for the color blue, so naturally I really like this Autobot's design and color scheme. With the car chase between some local policemen and one of our new human leads, we have a funny moment of classic car driving on its own kind of shenanigans, which makes for a great mix of comedy and action. I jumped for joy and instantly thought this had to be Mirage when the hologram tech activated. And sure enough, this is definitely Mirage, who I forgot was in the earlier movies too. Next we get a better look at Bumblebee's off-terrain look in his vehicle mode. And another fan favorite, especially one of mine, Cheetor from Beast Wars. Following Cheetor, the next Beast Wars character is Airazor, who is another one of my favorites. It's cool to hear that Michelle Yeoh is going to be voicing Airazor in this movie. This was a pretty cool action shot of Airazor, but in grabbing the screenshot, what caught my eye was when I noticed that Optimus, from the looks of the character, is attempting to run across the bridge while Airazor is blasting it with a laser beam of sorts, making me believe that the Autobots and Maximals might be on opposite sides at some point earlier in the movie, until they form an alliance and band together towards the movie's climax. Here we see a glimpse at an action scene where Mirage is zooming past a couple of generic enemy henchbots, whether they're Decepticon or other. An unknown enemy transformer appears here in the form of a truck. Who this could be is still a mystery to me, but a cool new enemy type. Who it's firing the missile at is another welcomed return of a classic character. We get the return of RC, who has never looked better in my opinion. Not saying that the RC twins from Revenge of the Fallen weren't great, but this is probably one of RC's best looks. This close-up of RC is a great visual. It goes to show how far the visual effects industry has evolved and continues to make spectacular work. Praise to all of you visual effects artists, along with artists in general. Your work will always be a spectacle in the eyes of the beholder. Here's an action shot of RC that better shows RC's form and weaponry while confronting the new enemy truck. And speaking of new enemies, Bumblebee is overwhelmed by this new enemy transformer, who turns out to be Scourge, and quite possibly the new leader of the enemy transformers. Here we have a group shot of our Autobot heroes, which also includes a green Autobot, who I initially thought was going to be another iteration of Hound. Actually, turns out to be a new iteration of Wheeljack. Rhinox makes a debut and is looking pretty cool. We cut to some shots from what could only be the final battle, as well as the transformed form of the truck character we saw earlier. Let me know who this is in the comment section below. Next, we not only see Prime and I believe Cheetor running together to take on the enemies, but we also see Cheetor maximize for the first time. Another little detail I like is that Prime still has his classic orangey arm blades. A better look at Primal's maximized form, and I've got to say, it looks so great. I like the grittiness and the unique differences, yet still recognizable key features from Prime, such as the side head pieces, and of course the mouthguard too. We then get a classic anticipation shot before the heroes and villains clash, which gives us a look at everyone's weaponry. Cool little detail that both Prime and Prime will use blades in different ways to fight with. The trailer concludes with a funny joke from one of our new leads and another look at RC, and a shot at Mirage and the other human lead. Pretty cool and exciting trailer overall. Last detail I appreciated was in the title sequence when all the faction logos were shown, but this one in particular I'm unfamiliar with. Could it be a new design for the Predacons, or the insignia of another faction we've never seen before in live action? But what do you think? Comment down below who these new enemies are, along with all your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. And that wraps up the end of the video. Hope you all continue to have a great day, and I'll see you next time. And a great way to give us all a sneak peek into what could be another great Transformers movie, especially since it's a sequel to